All right. Hello, everybody. It's the Meista from Brews and Tunes. Cheers. Very excited today. I am chatting. Well, first, let me just say one thing that makes me even more excited about this interview. So I'm chatting with the one and only Michael Dean Damron, one of my favorite people in the entire world, great singer-songwriter. But also, Mr. Damron was my very first interview ever for Brews and Tunes. And it is the 10-year anniversary of Brews and Tunes, so I thought it would be very fitting this month to reconnect and chat about what Michael's up to. And so very excited to have you on the show, Mike. Thanks so much for being here.
Oh yeah, man. Thanks, Vic. It's good to be here, brother.
Yeah. And I can't believe it's been almost 10 years since I interviewed you. It's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, I had trouble remembering it, but then I started remembering when I remembered when you said where we did it, and time is just a magician. It just
Yeah,
disappears as fast as hell.
that's a really good analogy. I agree. Yeah, it's like, I mean, that's the thing I couldn't believe when when I saw that, you know, it had been 10 years since Brews and Tunes. I had, come up with Brews and Tunes. I'm like, oh, I should, I remember that you were my first interview. I'm like, oh, I should totally interview. And that was probably, that was probably like 5 years ago or so. Like, no, it was 9.5 years ago. I'm like,
I think over 10 years you would have ran out of brews to, you know what I mean? That many beer, that much beer in the world.
they keep coming. They keep coming. In fact, I'm drinking a beer that was just released. So, local beer. Yeah, I'm drinking a deep slab pale ale from Roosters Brewing here in Ogden. Yeah, pretty cool, and it's it's nice because they're raising money for avalanche prevention or avalanche safety, not prevention, but avalanche safety.
It looks like a Dio album cover or something.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, rainbows.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So, man, it's, I mean, we've been in touch, but, like I said, it's been a long time since we've done an interview, but so what have you been up to lately? I mean, in this crazy, pandemic world we live in.
Well, lately, obviously like everyone else, almost 2 years of the normalcy of just kind of hiding out in your house. And, and I spent that time trying to get healthy, working out, trying to eat right, but it didn't, writing songs, just trying to become my best self and, take that time to, where you didn't have to work or get into, because we had unemployment, money to live on. But just trying to get my head right. And it was really hard. Everybody experienced it differently, and the first 4 months I was all gung ho and ass, and then the depression kind of set in, and then I started eating, getting back and, anxiety eating and, touch my guitar. And so it really kind of kicked my ass. And now I wouldn't say things are normal, but I got a job, working a job. I did a little tour out to Oklahoma, did a few shows, stopped in the heavy metal shop one day and played. And, just trying to get that normalcy back, working, doing that thing and paying bills and, shit everybody does.
Yeah, because you've always been a live performer. I mean, that's something that you thrive on. That I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you love performing live.
Oh, absolutely, it's everything. But my priorities have changed for sure. What the pandemic taught me was some things I used to think was really important aren't really that important. And some things that I thought were not important or super important. And same with people. Some people I thought were friends aren't really friends. And some people that I didn't really know became best friends,
right.
Really were there for me, and everybody needed somebody when this was going on, to talk to and figure shit out, because we weren't ready for that. We weren't used to that. I never thought I'd see something like that in my lifetime.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
And it's really profound, it's a profound experience.
You mentioned that you've been, writing. You've been doing some writing,
Sure.
some songwriting. I would, but yeah, like you said, with time on, a little more time on your hands, being home. Are you planning on putting out an album in the near future? Do you have enough material for an album? Or?
Oh yeah, I got more than enough material for a record, and I'm definitely going to do something. I just quite haven't visualized it all yet, like the direction of it. The material's there, but what the package, the whole thing, what it's going to be, what it's going to say. I'm going to rewrite a little bit, tweak things here and there. Most of my career as a songwriter, you know, I'd always just put stuff out, and I wouldn't really think about it too much. I just, oh man, that's great, that's fine. And then after a while, I'd be like, oh, maybe I should have thought about it a little more. You know, took the time to, you know, tweak a phrase or rewrite a line or a sentence, or, you know, instead of just going, you know, balls to the wall and throwing shit out, you know.
Right. Well, it seems like your last couple albums, especially like Darkness and you know, Little Hero, it seemed like there was a lot of thought put it. It seemed like you had meticulously kind of put those two albums together.
Well,
in a lot of ways, at least as a listener.
The guys that produced them did. The only thing that's wrong with those two albums, there's a couple songs on Little Hero I would have done differently, but I let Dan Eccles, who produced it, just let his vision go with it. And I maybe should have spoken up, but I trust Dan, and Dan's amazing. He did a great job. Yeah, there's a couple things I wish I could have changed. I would have said something about the change. But all in all, I'm still happy with the record. It's great. I just little things. And then with the Darkness, there's many lyrics in there I could have done better, and they've evolved, you know, in the last 5 years since that record came out. They've evolved, and I've evolved them into what I should have had going on back then. Lyrically, just the lyrics. Fernando did A+ job on the production and the, you know, everything he does. You know, the shit that it takes to be a producer is unbelievable. You know, it's a skill set that not too many people have, you know. Yeah,
I'm always fascinated by production and you know, being able to pull certain aspects out of, I mean, obviously, you know, the artist, the musician, I mean, that's the talent, but then being able to pull that and culminate that into something a little more tangible sometimes.
It's 50-50. If the one side drops the ball, it's not as good. Like I used to think, well, we're just ham-fisting through making those SOB records because we made them in our basements, in our rehearsal studios. And then I listened back to them, you know, 20 years later, 15 years later, and it's like, wow, that was really good. What John Burbank and the guitar player and Mole did in those studios, mostly John, is phenomenal. Like, with just a limited amount of gear we had to do that kind of stuff. Right. They stand the test of time for sure. I mean, you know, in my opinion, a little partial, but yeah. So I've been blessed to be able to work with good people all my life.
Yeah, and you've put out some really incredible material over the years.
So much
continue to do so. Yeah,
so much of it. Like, I think I've made 14 or 15 out. I don't know. You know, it's just guessing. But
yeah, that's amazing. That's so cool. And I know we touched on this 10 years ago, like 9.5 years ago when I interviewed you before, but I'm sure there's people that are watching this that aren't from, you know, may not be familiar with you know, your background. So
with me.
So I thought I'd touch on it a little bit. We don't have to go into too much depth. But one thing that I was always, and I can't even remember exactly. I remember asking you about it, but I don't remember kind of how it all transitioned. But so you were in the military. You were Air Force, or not? You were in the Army. You were airborne, correct? Yeah. And then from there, you became a boxer. And went to Vegas, I believe, if I remember correctly. How did you transition from boxing to being a singer-songwriter? What was that transition?
I started when I was in the Army, I started boxing. Like the last year I was in, I just kind of stumbled into the gym, and I was watching the post boxing team at Fort Campbell box, you know, and I was like, this is pretty cool, you know. When I was young, and you know, I was like, I want to try this because I've never done anything like that. And they said, well, yeah, here's some gloves. And I got dressed, you know, and I went in, and I never fought in the ring before, you know, at like a proper boxing match. And there was this kid named Maltika, and he believed he was from Africa. And he knocked me on my ass like within 20 seconds. I didn't know what I was doing, and he just swarmed on me, and I went down. And then I got up, and then the coach of the team goes, you know, do you still want to do this? You know, because I got hit really hard, and I go, yeah, man, I want to do this. You know, hell yeah, you know. And he goes, well, he goes, I can teach you to fight. He goes, I can't teach you to get back up. So that was a really good lesson for me. So I fought it for a year, and I got out of the Army, and I moved back to Las Vegas, where I'm originally from. I was born there, and I started going to this place, Johnny Toko's, world-renowned cutman and trainer, and he liked me, and I started, you know, training there and sparring. I sparred with some really world-class fighters, you know, and but I never turned pro. I never, you know, after about a year of being in the gym and working really hard, I just kind of realized I was mediocre. You know, I was never going to be the great, and I wanted to fight guys like Tommy Hearns. You know, like
Right.
if I can't be on that level, and those guys started when they were, you know, 11 and 12. I started when I was 19. I was just, you know, I could do the work, but I wasn't going to be great. There's that thing that makes you great in whatever you do, and if you don't have it, you don't have it. You're just not going to be great at it, you know. And so from then I started hanging out with a friend of mine from high school, and he was a renowned bass player, and he was playing with this guy Mark Slaughter.
Oh yeah.
You know, from the heavy metal Mark Slaughter, the band Slaughter. And so I started drum teching for him and hanging out with them and my friends. And it wasn't Slaughter, but it was his original incantation in his band before he joined Vinnie Vincent.
Oh, okay.
You know, so he was still coming up, but he had this band, you know, a couple years before he joined Vinnie Vincent, and I'd hang out with them and, you know, help with drums and moving gear and, you know, just learning the business. And that's kind of how I got into music. And then we were at the studio one day, and there's a band rehearsing in the studio next door, and they were pretty bad, you know. And they had two girls in the band, you know, and they were looking for a bass player, and I didn't know how to play bass, you know. And I'm like, well, but I want to, you know, I'm gonna get with one of these girls, so I'm gonna just go over with I borrowed my friend's bass, and I just kind of got the gig. Just,
Wow.
I didn't even know how to play. I just because I wanted to, so the horny, you know, young dude, and you know, I never got the girls, but I got to play bass for the first time, and so that kind of started it. So from my, you know, time I was 21, 22,
Interesting.
and I started learning how to play and getting into it and joining bands and, you know, just learning the whole thing. So that's that story, you know, how I got to starting, you know, doing it.
That's crazy. That's insane. That's so cool, man. Just that, I mean, I love the ballsiness of that. It's like, well, I'm gonna grab the space and go over there and.
Oh, it was just a horny young dude, you know, just trying to talk to girls, you know, making a fucking idiot out of myself. But it did teach, you know, I was like, I learned to love music from, you know, I mean, I always loved music, but actually playing it in front of people. And then I remember, like, I mean, I played in high school, you know, like I went to this fame type school, you know, so I learned how to play drums, and I knew how to read drum charts, and, you know, I knew a couple chords, but I didn't really know what I was doing as far as like joining a rock band. Played in jazz bands, but drums, it was always drums, you know. And I just picked up the bass and started going at it, you know. So I've always wanted to be into music my whole life, you know.
Yeah,
like it's just, you know, you're a little kid, you're sitting in front of the mirror playing the Kiss album with a fucking tennis racket, you know.
right. Yeah.
That was me. Or a hairbrush, I'd be singing Rod Stewart stuff and just, you know, visualizing it, imagining it, you know. It took me away from the reality of a really bad childhood, you know. I had to be a rock star, you know, in my own head. So.
Did you come from a musical family? Was there music?
No, God, no. But my dad, and when it's obviously it shows because I'm not much of one, you know what I mean? Like I'm just very simple. But my dad, he had a guitar. He had an old guitar that he played, and he sang like a freaking a weirdo. Like it was just gross, you know. But it had so much heart, you know. He'd sit there and play a Hank Williams song, and he'd make you want to cry. But it was just this. It's like listening to a wounded animal, but it was beautiful all at the same time. So I kind of got my listening to him, you know, that whole thing, the soul of it, you know, which ultimately that's all this really is.
Right. Right.
I love guys, the Paul Gilberts and the shredders of the world that can do all this crazy shit, but I don't understand it. I appreciate it, but I don't understand it. So I just stick with the soul, and the heart of, wounded animal.
Right. No, and I think that works, and it's also cool. I think I if I remember correctly, when I talked to you, way back when, you described your music as outlaw hillbilly. I think at the time.
Yeah, I was a different person back then, and I definitely loved that outlaw influence. Those guys, Coe and Waylon Will. Those guys, those Austin guys and Texas guys, and Towns and Steve Earle and all those dudes. And hillbilly, that's what I come from, basically. My dad's from Kentucky, and they grew up. They didn't have a toilet till he was 9. They had an outhouse and shit. And then they moved to Louisville and got, toilets and shit, whatever big city had to offer. And then my mom's from Oklahoma, and they grew up dirt poor, shacks, and this shit like that. Dust Bowl shit. That was my grandma and grandpa. But yeah, that's kind of what I feel that when I play, for sure. I've had a lot of other influences since then.
Right. Yeah, and that's one thing I think it's kind of hard to define what Michael Dean Damron is musically, because I've told people about, many times I've told people about your music, and like, oh, you got to check this guy out, he's amazing. And then you always get the question like, well, what is his style, what does he play?
Yeah.
And like, well, there's kind of this outlaw country element to it, but there's a like this old, it's singer-songwriter music, it's folk music, American folk music, it's blues, there's even some punk rock in there,
Yeah.
and even a little touch of metal too. So and especially when anytime,
Yeah.
and I always suggest anytime anybody can see you live, they'll really get I think, even more, even though I love all your albums, but your live, your live experience is it's almost a spiritual experience in a lot of ways, I think, at least for me.
It's for me too. Like, honestly, every time I play, I just do it for me. I don't really, especially now, I'm past the point of my ego doesn't need stroking, I just want to quell some, whatever's hurting, and then hopefully touch somebody else with it, hopefully somebody else feels something, and then there's a bond at some point, and then everybody goes home feeling good, that's the goal, or feeling sad, or if we're feeling something cathartic, something, that resonates within you, it's not just some, well, here we go, here's the show, it's a show, and that's it, and tell me how great I am, and buy my shit, and
right.
I don't need that. I hate bands that, I get why they do it, they're trying to do their thing, but it's more than that. Like you said, a spiritual journey, and it's been a spiritual journey from day one, whether you know it or not. If you get to that point, everything becomes quest for what is something bigger, God, whatever you want to call it, self, just become better human being. And music's done that for me, because I've been a bad person. I've done bad things and been a fuck up and a selfish person and a cheater and a liar and a bullshitter. And I feel like I've evolved as a human being because of this, because of touring and all the people I've met. And I know a world full of wonderful people, beautiful people who I'm, validate that I've become a better person.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one thing that's also always drawn me to your music is your honesty. You're probably one of the most honest musicians I've ever met, or had the pleasure of listening to. And because all those things you were just talking about, all those trespasses or whatever you want to call them, you're not afraid to sing about that. You're not afraid to kind of put that out there, which without any airs.
You have to be honest with yourself. With the internet and the face, whatever, everybody puts their best face on, but you got to be vulnerable, or else you're not going to really touch people. And it's crucial. And I'm not going to rag on anybody. Yeah, this is all for me. I do this for myself, and I choose to be vulnerable. And sometimes that comes back and bites you in the ass, you know, but it's the only way I know how to be,
Right.
you know, been that way since I was a kid. So if I hurt, I'm going to do this to get not hurt anymore, you know.
Right.
If I feel good, I'm going to do it to make me feel better. You know, it's a drug. You know, you're always chasing that feeling. I want to feel again. I want to touch somebody. And that's the best feeling in the world. Like somebody telling you that you made a difference. You made me feel something. You made this happen. And you don't see it at the time, but then you're like, that's a beautiful thing, you know. Yeah. It's a noble profession, this thing. If you take it serious, you know, and you're not in it for the wrong reasons. If you're kind of pure with it, it's as noble as being a doctor or you know, whatever.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I mean, it can really change people's perspectives and you know, like I said, you're not afraid of honesty and, you know, about yourself and about the world around you as well. You know, you know, and I'm sure you've, you know, butted heads with people sometimes. I mean, because, you know, I mean, you have, you know, you'll have songs about, you know, social criticism, political criticism. You know, you're not afraid to kind of put it out there, like what you're thinking, you know, what how you feel about certain things.
Well, and that too, it's like, I think we're all coming from the same place. We're all trying to figure out the same thing. I'm trying not to hate, you know, I know we're being manipulated. I know people are being manipulated all the way around the board. And, you know, my time on earth is, you know, actually all of our times on earth are quickly coming to an end, you know, one way or the other. You know, time flies and you get old and you die, and it doesn't matter what the fuck, it's going to go on without you, you know. So, yeah, hopefully we can have a conversation if someone, you know, has an open mind to listen to me. And I'm not I'm not an extreme leftist. And, you know, I grew up around rednecks, for lack of a better word, and people I love, you know. People I love, they're good people, you know, but I've grown past the racism of my youth, and maybe not. I mean, I think those racist things that are embedded in you and the misogyny from when you're a child, the things you see, you know, it's kind of hard to unearth all of it, you know, but I catch it when I'm thinking those thoughts or when I'm feeling that feeling pertaining to racism, or, you know, things of that nature, things that aren't good, you know.
Right.
And I kind of grow from that. And when I catch myself thinking the thought, or maybe getting ready to say something, oh man, maybe you need to think about what you're saying or what you're thinking, and question it, you know. So it's a questioning thing.
Yeah.
Oh, my daughter. So, hey baby, hold on. Hey baby, I'm doing a thing right now on the internet. Can I call you right back?
Oh my God, yes. Happy birthday.
I love you, baby.
Bye.
Bye. Sorry.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, it's my girl. This is my baby girl. She's not a baby. She's 30.
Oh.
But yeah, and I would like for just humanity to get together and just do what's best for the whole, you know, for all of us, you know, because that means that whatever it takes to fix the planet, and I don't even know if that's doable anymore. I'm fairly hopeless in these matters.
Right.
You know, I don't see it happening because there's too many selfish people that have it all, you know, and they're not trying to do the right thing. And I don't even know what that looks like. You know, all I can do is take care of my backyard and do what's right for me and the people I love. And hopefully that'll make a difference somewhere on a bigger scale. But yeah, I don't know, man. We're in trouble, you know, environmentally, you know, earth tornadoes in December.
Yeah,
you know.
it's horrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. But see, these kind of things my dad talked to me about when I was 11 years old. You know, the McDonald's used to have the styrofoam Big Mac packages, and it was eating up the ozone. And he explained to me climate change, global warming, and all these things. So this isn't new stuff. This is shit that's been on the table for a long time. It's just people that make the money they greedy, man. They don't care. They don't really seem to care, you know?
Yeah, that's what's, it's kind of mind-blowing that, that, because they live in the world too. Like,
I don't think they love their kids, or they figure technology is going to fix it, or yeah, I don't see that happening. But we'll go at some point. Human beings will go. We've been here we haven't even been here that long. Dinosaurs were here many, and I believe in that kind of shit. Science.
Yeah.
We'll disappear. Cockroaches will take over, and then maybe we'll come back in 50 million. I mean, we got 5 billion years before the sun burns out. So maybe there'll be another incarnation of humans come around and do better,
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. And hopefully we do the best we can. And I mean, that's all I can do. I can just take care of my little backyard,
Yeah.
So.
Well, and keep spreading the music, like that good music of yours, and, hopefully opening some eyes and getting people to listen and
maybe
give a shit about their neighbors a little bit more.
Maybe just that's all I have to do in this world. That's all any of us have to do is be good. Just be good. Whatever that looks like to you, just be good.
Yeah.
Simple. And that means, to me, that means it's kind of biblical, do unto others.
Right.
So it's just simple. It's a simple equation. I don't know why people don't get it,
Yeah.
Some do. A lot don't.
Do you kind of, to switch gears a little bit, do you have any I know there's a lot of uncertainty with things going on right now, but do you have any touring plans coming up? Any shows coming up that you got going on?
Sure. Well, I got a couple shows coming up, and I just booked a show in Sacramento for into March.
Oh, great.
And I'm going to book a tour around that, and hopefully I can do it with a friend or two, because I like touring with friends. I know everybody, like, we're all fighting over the same dollar. You get out there and everybody's trying to make money, but I'd much rather not make money and be with Micah Schnabel or Shane Sweeney or any of my friends. I don't want to start naming all my friends, but I would love to be out with and not make any money. I'd rather just sell my shirts. I don't care about the money. I'm definitely not in this shit for money. Anybody that's in it for money's got a rude awakening. It's the very few that make anything.
Yeah. Well, and I would imagine over the years, you probably have been approached multiple times from, record execs but you kind of want to do it your own way, right?
No, not so much that. I'd rather just do it my own way. That whole, what's it called? How do you say it? There's a word, but that whole structure of how it used to work, you get a record deal and all that kind of shit. And I was in a band that did that. And then after that, we kind of all did it ourselves. When I went off on my own, and it wasn't like I just got turned down. The agent for Hayes Carl just turned me down to open up for, to play a show with him for whatever reason. And it doesn't matter. I don't get excited one way or the other about those kind of things. If it happens, that's great. If not, it's fine too. But for whatever reason, he didn't see fit for me to be on the show with the big guy, and that's cool. I totally appreciate that. But that whole, I'd rather do my own thing and, like I said, be with my friends, be with people I love and respect. I don't care about being a rock star. I don't care about being on a label or, I don't even think that works anymore. How that, everybody just kind of puts out their own thing. If you're Taylor Swift or Billie Eilish, those big pop stars, they still have that machine behind them. But right now we just make our own machine, with the internet, it's that you're capable of doing that, if you got a good work ethic, you can get out and make a living.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you about that with kind of, especially now with the modern technology. I mean, because you can record an album in your house pretty easily now. And with the internet, I mean, I know there's a lot of music out there. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I mean, you've, especially kind of during the, when the pandemic was, everybody was kind of locked down. You were doing Sunday shows, doing a PayPal show, and
Yeah.
so there's a lot of cool creative ways to work around the industry.
Absolutely. In the industry is, and I work in it also. I mean, like I work with touring band. I work in venues and as a production manager, and I do a doorman work, and I'm in venues all the time, working with bands all the time, seeing bands all the time. I'm always in it, so that doesn't appeal to me as much as just doing stuff myself. And a lot of these bands do stuff themselves, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole playing online, I did that for a year, and it was great. A lot of people would come back every week, and there's a healing thing. That same thing process that I was talking about before was in effect. It was in a play. We're all trying to help each other, and I needed to vocalize what I'm feeling. They needed to hear it, and they need to get back. And and that was a good part of the pandemic. Every Sunday, getting to play for people. Just knowing that someone was always going to be there every Sunday when there was no stability, seemed like, in the world.
Right.
I wanted to be that kind of stability for just anybody, and I feel like I did pretty good, and then after a while it came back to like, well, I need to play for people. I need to be in a room with people, as long as it's relatively safe. And again, that's up to individuals, man. I would never ask anybody to come. I don't like promoting and, all that kind of stuff. I hate, that's kind of why I'm not very, even with all the industry technology and everything, I'm still not very good at it, I hate when the bands just, they throw up a Facebook thing and that's their promoting, you still have to go out and meet people and talk to people and build a family. You have to build a family in every little place you go, or else you can get all the Facebook liking you want, but it don't do no, to me, it don't feel good.
Yeah.
It's good to, like, I've met you, I've been in a room with you, and we've interacted, and we have a thing, bond, and I have that with lots of people around the country, and my friends have that with lots of people, and it makes us human.
Yeah. And I think that's, it's definitely what sets you apart and a lot of the other musicians that you play with apart from, a lot of bands where, you love to interact with the audience. I mean, not just during the show, but like you said, you connect with, like, after a show, you walk around and talk to everybody,
Well, yeah, I don't have the luxury of, there was this rock star, I'm not gonna mention his name, but I had to get him to his bus after he played, and we're going out the door, and he, obviously doesn't want to talk to fans, but his fans are coming one way, and I'm going with him the other way, and he's running. Like, he's at a full sprint to get to his bus.
Wow.
And I was just like, damn, you can't take a minute and just say hi to this guy or that guy, or, you know what I mean? Like, you can't take a couple minutes of your time to, and I get it. Maybe he's got crazy people after him. I mean, that happens for sure. So whatever, I'm not judging him at all, but like, usually when I meet crazy people, and I've met crazy people before, like,
Sure.
I embrace them, like, I'm crazy too. I felt that shit. I kind of know what you're going through. I might not know exactly what you're going through, but I understand pain and suffering and feeling lost and all these things. And I had a good fellow one time. He was good. We became good friends, but at first he used to scare the shit out of me. Like, on my birthday, this is many years, maybe 15 years ago or something. He comes, I'm having a show. Like, I always like to play a show on my birthday, and he brings me a gift. He into the club. He brings me a shotgun. He gave me a shotgun. He brings it in, and fucking security looked at it and made sure it was unloaded. And he brought it right to the fucking stage, and I was just like, it was amazing, but kind of scared the shit out of me.
Right.
But over the years he kept coming back, and we just became pretty damn good friends. And he's one of those conspiracy guy, makes his own ammo, and pretty MAGA, but we're friends. He loved me. Whatever spoke to him, something I said spoke to him, and I've got people that are extremely the other way. It's the same thing, so.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just trying to find that good place where we can all find a common bond.
Yeah. Well, I think it's Yeah, in a lot of ways, I think it's music. I know that might sound cheesy, but I think that is sometimes the common ground.
No, that's not cheesy at all. That's for real. I mean, you might not. Some people like Bob. I think Bob Dylan. Maybe Bob Dylan said it. I can't change the world, and if Bob Dylan can't change the world, I know I can't. But that's on a mass scale. It's like, but I can change just one little part of the world, and that's all that matters. Like, I think humanity on a whole is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
And not cool. We're fucking garbage as a species, but as individuals, there's nothing more beautiful, But you get a bunch of us together, and it just turns into shit.
Yeah.
War and fucking, shit. We start killing each other, and I don't get it. We can't figure that out.
Mob mentality. It's a weird beast.
We're insane. We're weird beasts. Yeah, we're an anomaly. Like, we probably shouldn't be here. We shouldn't exist. We're just too fucking weird.
Right. I agree.
I love us. I love being alive. I love my fellow man, pretty much. As individuals. I know some assholes too that I don't love, but they're very few, far and in between. You have to be a really bad person for me to not like you.
Right.
You have to be a real shithead, And I'm sure somebody says that about me too, It's some like whatever.
Yeah, I guess we're all isn't it that the story? Yeah, we're all the villain in somebody's story.
Sure.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Sure. And I guess I am somebody. I don't know. I wouldn't. Yeah. There's a couple people I know don't like me, but whatever. I don't give a shit,
Yeah.
I'm starting to like me, and that's what counts.
Yeah, that's important. That's good.
Yeah. After it took many years, it took decades, but now when you die, man, you're gonna die alone, and you better like what you see. It's miserable sons of bitches out there.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you one, kind of what you're working on right now musically, and also if you would be willing to share a little bit of that with us.
Oh yeah, that's how I got this little buddy.
Yeah,
it's weird during the whole upheaval of the what I feel was upheaval of the Trump administration, and fascism getting a foothold. I didn't really care to write about politics, and I've written about politics most of my journey, and I didn't really care about it. I wanted to write more about human things and things that brought us together, and family, personal things. So I wrote stuff like that, and about myself and my own fears and sadnesses and my bullshit. And I'll play a little song. This is a little minute and a half song, and I really like it. I don't really know anything about it. I think it's about me, but and I really like the song, but I don't know where it came from or if it's worth a shit or not. But I like it. So, okay. Sad crow sitting on my shoulder. Sad crow sitting on my shoulder. He's about to peck me. He's getting bold, and I'm so tired of his shit. He's a real sad sack. He's a real nut tapper. He's getting old, but his feathers stay black, and I'm so tired of his shit. Mr. Crow, please fly far away. I don't feel like killing myself today. Sad crow sitting on my shoulder. My baby, I love her. So I told her that bird's gonna fly away. I'm feeling pretty good today. I say I'm feeling pretty good today. Yeah. I'm in love and feeling good today. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's a good song, but I like it. So
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
That was very cool.
Yeah. I think about Loud Love It. Like I pretend like I'm Loud Love It when I'm singing it. It sounds better if you did it. So
No, that's great. That's a very that's a very Damron song. That feels like a Damron song to me.
sure, man. Sure.
That was
Like,
very cool.
cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah, could definitely see that on an upcoming album, which hopefully will be soon.
Yeah, well, maybe by spring for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, you said you've got quite a lot of songs already kind of collected and trying to just kind of figure that out, kind of
just figure out what I want it to be
together.
like. Sometimes I have a bunch of songs and I go, well, I want this to sound like a Guns N' Roses album or something, and I want it to be a little harder, a little bluesier, a little beefier. And this one, like I'm gonna play with Alan. Alan will probably play some bass on it, and Dan will probably play guitar on it. But it'll be like that more simple trio country folk thing,
Cool.
Maybe some rock. I don't know. I still got whatever. Play some rock. But yeah, it's a folk thing. I don't know words. I got a lot of words. So
Nice.
Okay.
Speaking of kind of the rock thing, it's been like 9 years almost or around there since I Can Lick Any Son of a Bitch in the House has put out an album. Are there plans of putting out anything again, or not that it's
we talked about it. Our drummer's having some problems, and we don't really talk much anymore. But the rest of the band, we're all pretty tight. We could do something, even if it was just like getting in together and doing 1 or 2 songs and just putting them out for folks to hear. I got songs for him, but guitar player John, he's moving into a new house, and so that might take a minute. But we still do stuff. We're still very good friends, And I love my drummer, but he's just kind of lost right now, So
gotcha.
But we can get another drummer to come in and do it, or John can play drums, or I can play drums. But something. We're gonna do something for sure, but nothing, no touring or nothing big. Just make a couple of songs, But I'm definitely gonna tour some more and
cool.
Make it. I'm gonna keep doing this. Maybe not full time, because I like working in production and working at the door, stuff like that. But yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Mike, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for chatting with me this evening, and also happy birthday. I think we talked. I wish you happy birthday before the interview, but wanted to put that in. Yeah, it's your birthday today, which is awesome that you're willing to chat with me on your birthday.
It is my birthday today.
Yeah, so happy birthday to you. That's very cool. So yeah, cheers. So for everybody watching, please, if you look in the description down below, there's some links. You can check out Michael Dean Damron's music, which you will love. It's fantastic. One of my favorite musicians, one of my favorite people in the entire world. Again, thank you so much for chatting with me. It means the world to me.
Can I say one more thing?
Oh, of course, please. Yeah.
So I wanted to mention, and I don't know, I just wanted to mention it and bring it to the attention. There's a girl that went missing the day after Thanksgiving, and she was a good friend of the heavy metal shop and of me. She used to always come in and see me play, and she left home. She left from work to go home on November 27th, and her name's Valerie Gardner. And if you look up her name, Valerie Gardner, there's some stuff about her on the internet about just if people in Salt Lake could keep their eyes open. I wake up every morning just sick to my stomach. She's a very, very wonderful person, and how people can just disappear like that out of nowhere is blows me away. And I'm pretty heartbroken. And Kevin and friends, she'd always come in and watch me play, and she's a very nice person. So I just want to put that out there because
thank you.
folks in Salt Lake might, I don't know where any of this goes, but yeah, that's all.
No, I agree. Yeah. And I can put a link. I know there's a page.
The Fox News, local Fox News affiliate just put something up. So yeah, a link would be great. So maybe you never know.
Yeah. Hopefully somebody's seen her.
Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Thank you,
Thank you
brother.
so much, brother. I really appreciate it. This has been great.
Yeah, man. I'll see you in 10 years.
Yeah. Hopefully not that long.
Well, next time I'm gonna come to Salt Lake in the spring, and hopefully, if you get a chance, I'm gonna try a weekend. We'll do a weekend this time and
Yeah.
book a proper show, and do that thing. I think my friend Jerry Joseph's playing there tonight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, one of those places. I don't know, whichever venues.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be cool.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon, man. And holler at me anytime if you ever want to shoot shit.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thank you, brother.
Cheers. Happy birthday.
How do you turn this off?